Surprising decision by Alcaraz and Sinner at the ATP Finals in Turin. The ATP Finals are taking shape at the Inalpi Arena in Turin, where the players are testing their form on the main court and the central training court. The competition begins on Sunday, November 9th, and runs until the 16th. Two big prizes are at stake: the title, defended by Italian Jannik Sinner, and the world number 1 ranking, which he is contesting with Spain's Carlos Alcaraz, who has the better mathematical chance of finishing the year as world number 1. It depends on him. The Italian needs to win the title and hope for favorable results from the Mercian. It's the great rivalry of modern tennis. For the second consecutive season, they have split the Grand Slam titles 2 apiece. They have played 3 of the 4 finals. They dominate the professional circuit with authority. Sinner has the home advantage, with indoor hard courts also playing to his strengths. Alcaraz faces the challenge after his slip-up at the Paris indoor event, but with a fresh mind and legs. Since they are in different groups, they could only meet in the semi-finals or the final. There's still almost a week to go before that could happen, but it's surprising that both decided to train together for nearly 2 hours when it's usually in their best interest to keep any tactical surprises hidden. Not to give away any clues. However, they spent an hour practicing shots in the training area and then simulated a competitive set on the main court, where the tournament matches will be played. There's no match order yet. One spot remains undecided between Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime and Italian Lorenzo Musetti, who needs to win the title in Athens, where Novak Djokovic is also competing in the semi-finals. The Serbian has already qualified for the Masters, though his participation remains uncertain. Djokovic was included in the draw, placed in the group with Alcaraz, American Taylor Fritz, and Australian Alex de Minaur, the latter expected to be Alcaraz's first opponent barring last-minute changes. Sinner's group includes German Alexander Zverev, American Ben Shelton, and either Auger-Aliassime or Musetti. Alcaraz and Sinner showed great camaraderie, as did their teams, during their meeting in Turin. Their rivalry is marked by sportsmanship and by each one's determination to improve and dominate a duel that historically favors the Mercian, 10 wins in 15 matches. The best moments from the Alcaraz-Sinner training session in Turin. There was maximum anticipation in Turin on Friday morning when Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner trained together on the main court of the ATP Finals 2025 venue. It's rare to see the world's 2 best players share a practice session, but both performed at a high level and produced memorable moments. The Spaniard and the Italian shared more than an hour and a half of training, exchanging light-hearted comments as they often do on court. They began with warm-up drills and shot practice on an adjacent court, then tested each other on the main stage in a 1-set match simulation followed by a tie-break. Backed by Italian fans, Sinner won the set 6-3 after taking an early 3-0 lead. The tie-break went to the player from El Palmar. Serbian Novak Djokovic, 38 years old and world number 5, continues to enjoy himself on a tennis court. That's why he sees no expiration date to his career, even if it's increasingly hard to stay physically sharp in Grand Slam matches against the likes of Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. Noel now chooses his schedule and objectives as he pleases. With 24 Grand Slam titles, he can afford it. For example, skipping the Paris Masters 1000 to play the current ATP 250 event in Athens, which he partly owns, a tournament that began in Serbia, moved to Bosnia, and is now based in Greece, where he resides following disagreements with his home country's government. Athens is both a family business and a chance for him to keep adding semi-finals. He reached his 199th career semi-final after beating Portuguese Nuno Borges, 28 years old, world number 47, 7-6-1, 6-4 in 1 hour 43 minutes. This Friday he will face either German Yannick Hanfmann or American Marcos Giron. He's already achieved his 200th indoor victory. The tennis world is watching closely as the ATP Finals, the season-ending Masters tournament for the top 8 players, begins Sunday, November 9th, and run until the 16th. Everyone wants to know whether Djokovic's inclusion in the draw confirms his participation. With the groups now known, Djokovic has already sent an early message to the group's top seed, Carlos Alcaraz. Their Jimmy Connors group also includes American Taylor Fritz and Australian Alex de Minaur. Novak Djokovic has won the Nitto ATP Finals 7 times, twice in his last few appearances, 2022 and 2023. In the 2023 semi-finals, he defeated Alcaraz. This will be the Spaniard's 3rd appearance as he aims to win a title that only 2 Spaniards have ever claimed, Manolo Orantes and Alex Corretja. The Mercian is training in Turin, while Djokovic is preparing in his new home, Athens. Alcaraz gets a tough draw, Sinner lucks out. Carlos Alcaraz wasn't fortunate in the ATP Finals draw, finding himself in a very tough group with Novak Djokovic as his main rival, while Sinner benefited from an easier path. The ATP Finals are approaching, with the action starting Monday in Turin. The season-ending tennis showcase gathers the world's 8 best players and will be key in determining the current balance of power in the sport. After Jannik Sinner snatched the world number 1 from Carlos Alcaraz at the Paris Masters 1000, the Spaniard now has the chance to reclaim it. To do so, he must either reach the semi-finals undefeated or make it to the final. It won't be easy, as the draw shows. Alcaraz, with Djokovic. Once again, luck hasn't favored Carlos Alcaraz. The Mercian struggles on very fast courts, and this one will be no exception. Moreover, after losing his Paris opener to Cameron Norrie, he arrives with few indoor references. Having Novak Djokovic across the net doesn't help either. The Serbian, the tournament's most successful player in history, returns after missing the 2024 edition. Alongside them are 2 dangerous opponents who could trouble both big guns. On one hand, there's Taylor Fritz, one of the best performers of the year, though he struggled lately indoors with tough losses in Basel and Paris. More consistent should be Alex de Minaur, a solid, relentless player who can make life difficult in these events, though historically, Alcaraz has handled the Aussie well. Sinner, with better luck. Jannik Sinner, the current world number 1, though he'll lose that ranking Monday unless he defends his title, has Alexander Zverev as his main threat. The German showed in Paris that he can be dangerous when confident but also vulnerable in big matches, as Sinner crushed him in the semi-finals. Then there's Ben Shelton, who has struggled with injuries and inconsistency. Finally, either Felix Auger-Aliassime or Lorenzo Musetti will complete the group depending on the Athens result. If it's Auger-Aliassime, the group gets much tougher. If it's Musetti, he's likely to struggle more. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner are already in Turin, preparing early for the season's final showdown. The 2025 ATP Finals will not only decide the last big champion of the year, they'll also determine who finishes as world number 1. Yet neither goal overshadows the genuine friendship between the Spaniard and the Italian, who reunited at the Inalpi Arena, sharing laughter and a warm embrace, a beautiful image that leaves fans eager for action. Alcaraz arrives in Turin and begins training. Carlos Alcaraz arrived in Turin amid an electric atmosphere. From the airport, fans chanted his name non-stop. His energy, smile, and warmth made every greeting feel personal. The young Mercian appeared relaxed, confident, and ready to face the challenge ahead. He's not only looking to win but also to enjoy every moment of a tournament that brings together the best players in the world. After a few days of rest at home, Alcaraz is now in Turin for the ATP Finals, a title he has yet to win, something that motivates him even more as he also aims to finish the year as world number 1. While the final group lineup was still being confirmed, the player from El Palmar trained on the Inalpi Arena's central court alongside Taylor Fritz. For this session, he was joined by Fritz, world number 4 and potential opponent in the tournament, as well as his 2 key team members, Juan Carlos Ferrero and Samu Lopez, his head and assistant coaches, who know this is a moment where failure isn't an option. In the stands, Italian fans welcomed him warmly, aware they're witnessing a new tennis era. Respect for his talent transcends national boundaries. Even Sinner's supporters recognize in Carlos a unique force driving tennis toward a vibrant future. But behind the smile lies determination. Alcaraz knows this tournament could define his year-end number 1 status. The pressure is immense, but his positivity and passion for competition make him a role model for the next generation. More than a player, he's a symbol of effort, joy, and authenticity. The title still to be decided in the ATP. Right now, only the final ranking remains to be settled. Sinner, after his Paris Masters 1000 win, briefly took the top spot from Alcaraz, but will lose it next Monday when last year's ATP Finals points drop. However, the new edition of the ATP Finals begins Sunday in Turin, where Alcaraz only needs 3 match wins to secure the year-end world number 1 ranking for the second time in his career, matching legends Bjorn Borg, Stefan Edberg, and Lleyton Hewitt. Carlos Alcaraz is finalizing his preparation in Murcia before flying to Turin this Wednesday for his 3rd consecutive appearance at the ATP Finals, November 9th to 16th. At stake, the Maestro crown, held by only 2 Spaniards, Manolo Orantes and Alex Corretja, and the year-end number 1 ranking. Jannik Sinner has reclaimed the top spot in the entry list, but the key ranking is the 2025 race, where the Mercian leads by 1,050 points over Sinner. That means Carlitos needs 500 points to guarantee finishing the year as the ATP Tour's leader, in practice, the equivalent of 3 round-robin wins, the entire group stage, or 2 wins plus a semi-final appearance.